going on, you guys? Hailing from the East. It is your boy, Dan the Beast. I had to remember that, so forgive me. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've done one of these little sit down type of conversations with fellow, uh, I guess, vloggers, I guess you would say, YouTube sensations, as we've been known to be in one point of our lives. But yeah, it's been a long time since we've done one of these. This is kind of like a weird circumstance. This is a screen recording because
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
technology just doesn't keep up with old folks like us. Um, so as we all know, you already know who I am. I already introduced myself, but I am here with the DVD Freak, and yeah, this was more of his idea. So this will either be on my channel or his channel. So just check in.
Yeah, this didn't go as planned. Yeah, we used to record calls all the time, and it went heavenly, and now it's a disaster. One of us is bigger than the other on the screen,
Yeah.
and yeah, we're screen recording, and this is yeah, whatever. I guess we're here.
I feel like this is kind of suiting, with my knees up. I kind of feel like I'm actually in the box. So yeah, this will be a comedy video for some sort of.
Yeah, but anyway, how you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing good. What are you doing? I mean, what's going on here? It's been so long since we've actually had like one of these types of conversations and one on ones, mano y manos, I guess you would say. Because as everybody knows, I'm hardly even on YouTube anymore. Yeah, it's been a long time, even though I just posted a video maybe like a month ago. But that doesn't count. It's not consistency. It's more like one of those like, knocking on your door when your kid's sleeping. Hey, just making sure that you're awake. You better get your ass to bed. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I try to be consistent on YouTube, but life and circumstances, and it's been a lot.
Right.
The last few months especially. So yeah, I'm here and there. I still do my videos, and I want to do live streams more. But yeah, we're here now, though. That's what's important. We're here now.
Right.
We're in the moment.
We're in the moment. We're in the now. So
We're in the now.
yeah, let me not copyright that because that's actually a tag team name out in the independent circuit. So I mean, if you guys see this, hey, we're just using this for the time being.
Leasing it.
Yeah, embracing.
All right. So where are you at with wrestling? Well, I guess we'll. I'm sure people are wondering where are you at with wrestling.
I still watch it, um, from home, but I mean, I haven't really gone to a live show in maybe about 2 or 3 years. Not because I don't want to, but it's just because they just don't come to my city anymore, and the promotion that promotes, around like the Connecticut Northeast area, um, they just hardly post anymore. Michael Lombardi, you may be familiar with the name. He was actually on the Cody Rhodes documentary that was on Peacock a couple months back. Um, yeah, I have no idea on his whereabouts or the direction of his business at the moment because he used to be big. And I started going to his shows when I was about 13, 14. And I'll never forget it. My first show, my dad took me. I pleaded him. I was like, please, like, for once in your life, this is like a long life dream. Like, please. So we finally went, I convinced him, more like my mom convinced him, like, you better take his ass. You better take him. Shit like that. And, we went. It was a small venue. Well, it was one of the venues that I've been going to regularly these past couple of years, which is the PAL, is, I guess you could call it like our ECW arena, I guess. And, we went, and the first three wrestlers I ever met in person were Velvet Sky, Big Daddy V, also known as Viscera, Nelson Frazier, Mabel,
Mabel.
and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And he came to the right city because there was plenty of hoes that night. Plenty. But any of that. Anyway, we're just going to keep it PG, hopefully, for the rest of this show. And
Have we ever been PG? Come on.
absolutely not.
You remember the podcast, dude? He had to edit some shit out.
We've been so rated R, we can't even cope with it. Bad joke.
Uh-oh.
Bad joke.
The coat.
Oh, starting with the bad jokes already. But
you know what?
Yeah,
I'm gonna say.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna say this right now. John Cena's final match needs to be the Cope. Edge.
You know what? It should. And ironically, I did capture like a little bit of AEW Dynamite this week, which I'm surprised because I hardly watch it. But considering that I have HBO Max, it's like, it's free. It's pretty much they stream every Wednesday and Saturday. So, I checked it out just to see how they're doing, even though I see results online. And, I seen Christian come to the save with Spike. And, Edge kind of embraced a hug, and Christian was kind of just like, this feels good, but I don't know if it feels right. It was just like, all right. But now they're officially
some drama.
But now they're officially teaming up at the next AEW PLE, I guess you would say, or pay-per-view, against Nick Wayne and oh god, who's the other guy? I don't even know. I don't even catch up with the product. But yeah, they're teaming up, and it seems like this year is the year of last chances, I guess you would say. Dudley Boys, Hardy Boys fighting at Bound for Glory. Last time, I still feel like it should have been a triple threat tag team. Maybe have E and C involved, but it's whatever. You got these guys teaming up for most likely the final time. And then this is John Cena's last year. He has about, maybe like a couple more dates ahead of him, like 16, something like that.
Yeah, I think he has 4 matches, if I'm correct, unless they decide to throw one in there. But,
right.
Yeah. We're looking at Saturday night's main event, more than likely.
Right.
Hopefully it's not riddled with commercials.
Right. Yeah, that tends to be the big tease nowadays. But I know Clash of Paris is coming up, and it looks like he's going to face Logan Paul. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. I do know that Cena's heel turn this year was a complete failure. I will say that. In the beginning, I was so convinced, when he gave The Rock the look where they panned the camera on his face and, did the whole little cutthroat thing. I was like, okay, are we going to get basic thugonomics? And, it just turned into Cena being petty but truthful. Like,
salty.
Yeah, you get nothing. He you know what? He sounded like Willy Wonka. Remember at the end of Willy Wonka, he's like, get nothing. Like,
you lose.
You lose. Like, everything's been like a Willy Wonka reference. You got Seth Rollins taking down the crutches.
Oh man, yeah, you should have done a little somersault into the ring.
Like, oh my god, he finessed us. But oh man, yeah, this year in wrestling has it's definitely been interesting. Between the heel turn and then WWE buying AAA, which Triple Mania's tomorrow, live on YouTube at 9 p.m. So
on YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I was actually hearing rumors that they're probably going to have a slot on Netflix soon. So, I mean, that should be interesting. I'm not really familiar with AAA. Been more based around like, the North American parts of wrestling and some Japanese throughout the years. But AAA, not that I never affiliated myself with them, but I just never got a chance to catch them. So.
Yeah, I know. I read they're going to be rebranding. They're going to give them a new logo and everything. And so AAA is going to go WWE style. And then I also read that WWE is trying to position TNA as the number 2 company. and they're trying to sabotage Tony Khan's rights deal so they can they're trying to sabotage Tony Khan right now because they want TNA to be number 2. So this is becoming a competition at this point. Like, it always kind of was, but it wasn't really direct. But I guess now they're really like, all right, let's put this motherfucker out of business or something. But
Yeah, I think they're finally trying to put the icing on the cake, sort of say. I mean, TNA I've always felt like was far more superior. I mean, back in the day, I mean, it was gold, you know. It was like
yeah,
we had like that one like rough patch of years where it was like it was just WWE. If you wanted to catch TNA back in the day, especially during the early days, you really had to buy it every week on pay-per-view,
mhm.
which was just nonsense. I mean, back in the day, I mean, it's probably cheaper than what it is now. But, you know, TNA was a hot commodity and it was pretty much just an NWA territory. That was it. It was just an NWA territory. And then it just exploded, expanded, started grabbing all these top names until eventually they landed a deal with Spike TV. I'm not sure if any of you kids who were born in the 2000s remember Spike TV, but Spike TV back in the day, which I'm surprised, you know, WWE doesn't even bring up, you know, that name anymore. You don't really hear about Spike TV.
Yeah. Is Spike TV still around? I don't have cable.
No, Spike
Okay.
TV, they got replaced by something else. That might be something that
Okay.
we might have to Google later on. But yeah, no, I remember back in like 2003, 2004. Well, you know what? They had moved from USA to TNN in 2001, 2002. I remember that. And then after that, I think they were on TNN for like maybe like a year and a half or so. Then they switched over to Spike. And then they went from Spike up until 2005. I remember the commercial too. They said WWE Monday Night Raw is coming home to the USA, and 2005. That was it. Like they've been on
That was
USA
the.
ever since,
Here,
up
hold on.
until the Netflix era.
Right there.
Yeah,
The
pretty
Raw
much.
Homecoming. That was the first. There you go. But I have a question for you.
Okay.
You still have the Owen Hart autograph.
I still do have the Owen Hart autograph.
All right.
I
Just
don't
making
have it
sure.
on me right now. It's sitting in my closet somewhere. I just recently moved into a new home in June, so I'm still adjusting to that. All my DVDs, however, they're in a bin because I have no room. Yet, do I have a shelf for it? Because the old shelf I had, um, pretty much I got rid of it. It was old, you know. I needed something new, and I haven't gotten the chance to browse around and check for new shelves. So they've been sitting in a bin, including the band Owen Hart cover DVD that I still have that I bought for $15.
Not
That
bad.
still sealed, and like I just remember buying it. I remember contacting you, and I remember just going through the bins because there was like 2002 stuff, 2003. It must have been somebody's collection because like all the years in there were visible, like at least like the early Ruthless Aggression years. So I'm like, oh my god. So I'm just browsing through it, and then I see an Owen Hart, you know, the spine, and I'm like, that's not the normal Owen Hart DVD spine. So I pulled it out, and I'm just like, so, you know, I asked the guy, yeah, how much are you selling this for? And he's looking up comps. It doesn't even really notice it, you know, just paying attention, just $15. And I'm looking at my buddy. I'm like, yeah, I'm buying it, and we're getting the fuck out of here before he realizes, oh shit.
Yeah. I paid 50 for mine. I think my best DVD store find. I still have it. I'm looking at it right now. I found the Clerks 10th anniversary set signed by the cast in a fucking FYE. And I'm just looking around. It was listed for $10. Signed by Kevin Smith, everybody. I was afraid to take it up because I was like, dude, they're going to see what they're doing. Like, somebody turned it in used. And that's the thing. Like, same with the Owen Hart DVD. They didn't know what they had, so they probably got like $5 for it.
Yeah.
If you paid 15, like, yeah, people don't know what they have sometimes.
Right. It's like you're buying it thinking that, oh, I just screwed this guy out of some money. When really you just screwed yourself, because now I got the end of the bargain and I'm probably going to make twice as more than what you paid for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that was unfortunate for them, but at the same time, it's like I saw it and I was just like, I feel like it was like one of those moments where I should have just like picked up my phone, started recording, and said, guys, look what I got in my hand. I'm about to negotiate with the guy right now. Let's see how much he wants. And, everybody plays the waiting game and it's like, oh, yeah, $15. Well, I be damned. All right. I'm out of here. I'm buying it and I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah, I paid $50 for mine because I didn't receive one in the mail. But yeah, $50. I think it was like 54 I paid for that. Whatever. It's worth it. They very rarely come on eBay.
Yeah.
There was one listed for, I did a video on it. It was expensive. I know who bought it. Someone's going to be receiving that DVD soon. I won't spoil who it is, but I got a message from him, and he's getting an Owen Hart DVD in the mail. So,
I'm still trying to find the Blu-ray. The Blu-rays are a little bit more expensive, but obviously I'd want to buy it for the extra content, which includes the Owen Hart tribute show. So yeah, that's pretty much the only reason why I want the Blu-ray. And there's probably some extra matches on there that I'm not familiar with, but I would have to go on Wrestling DVD News if they're still around. I'm sure you're probably more familiar with that.
Yeah, I did an interview with him a little while ago. Really cool interview. I talked to him. It's on my channel. Really cool interview, and he talked a lot about the Owen Hart DVD because he was in direct contact with Martha Hart and everything. And yeah, go watch that interview. We talked about the Owen Hart Band DVD quite extensively, and I know he had plans for the site last time I talked to him, but he hasn't posted in a while, so I think it's kind of done for now. Coolest dude in the world. Shout out to Daniel. I met him at WrestleMania last year. Really cool dude. So shout out to him and all the good work he did. That site was phenomenal.
I mean, it feels so weird just talking about like DVDs, considering the fact that like wrestling DVDs are pretty much like obsolete, I guess you would say. And unfortunately, I feel like that's kind of where my YouTube career kind of died out, because like once they put out the last wrestling DVD, which was what, 2023, like the end of 2023.
Survivor Series, yeah.
Survivor Series, yeah. I was just like, I was so devastated. I was just like I collected most of the 2023 set, but then it was just like, where do I go from here? Which a lot of you guys are probably wondering that, like, what have you been doing this past like year and a half or so? I mean, I did post that one video about R-Truth and Carlito, getting released, but then, R-Truth was like, psych, you thought, and came back. And, Carlito, that's just not cool,
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Not cool at all.
Yeah, definitely not cool. But as of recent, well, I've been collecting, DVD Freak knows, and a couple other people who are close to me know. I've been collecting sports cards, just cards for consistently for like the past 4 years, even during my time with YouTube and PWZ podcasts. I just decided to have, I just had like this weird hunch for like cards. I just started looking up YouTube video. Like I was always into like cards. I collected wrestling cards when I was younger, baseball, didn't really know shit about baseball back in the day up until I went to Fenway Park in 2018. And then it was like, man, like cards are so valuable nowadays than what they were like 30 years ago, 20, 30 years ago. So now it's like, you got cards with like certain parallels, you get short prints, case hits. I was just so intrigued with that. I was like, and not even just for the investment either, but just more for like the hobby. And like, I just started watching baseball more often. I started, seeing like, oh, who's good and everything. Started having like favorite players I like to watch. But then it also applied to wrestling. So wrestling was just like, oh man, like I could collect wrestling cards too. Cause it's like I pretty much know a lot of shit about wrestling. I've only been watching it since like 97, 98, right? So I just started to accumulate cards. And you know, I am that type of guy who doesn't keep every card. It's like I'll either just give them away or just give them to my cousin or just keep them aside until I figure out what I do with them. But then I get like numbered cards. There's autograph cards. There's like relics, like pieces of the mat. A T-shirt. Whether they wore it at a live event or not. It's just like it's just a cool aspect of owning something, like just like DVDs or just like regular 8x10 autographs, and just saying, hey, look, I got that. you know and yeah, I started up a card page on Instagram recently. It's called Danny Boy's Sports Cards. I collect anything between baseball, football, WWE, Pokemon, some Pokemon. I mean, I collect a lot of graded cards too, because you get them graded, it kind of doubles their value just a little bit, depending on what it is. Back in December of 2024, um, going off a little bit on the wrestling topic real quick, but Don Russ football had just came out. Don Russ, if anybody collects football cards, you already know Don Russ is synonymous for their downtown inserts, which are case hits. Goes for a lot of money. So, I had went out one day. I probably brought home like 4 boxes. Easy $100, gone. Goodbye. See you later. Probably ain't gonna get shit. I opened that first box, and I'm probably maybe like 3 or 4 packs in. Pulled a downtown Brock Bowers. He's a tight end for the Las Vegas Raiders. And of course, it had to be my team. Why did I have to pull a downtown of a guy from my favorite team? So now I'm having like, detachment issues. I'm like, I love you, but I got to get rid of you. But I want to keep you, you know? Because like cards like that, they're worth so much value. So I held on to it for a month, and I was just like, man, what do I do? What do I do? So then back in February, I went to Ken's Cards. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that video that me and DVD Freak did a couple years back, but man, what an adventure that was. So I ended up going there. I actually ended up speaking to Ken himself, and I was like, listen, I got this downtown card. It's worth this. Are you willing to give me this amount? And we ended up negotiating for $600. So, and
Damn.
usually downtowns like that, they like raw, like depending on who it is. At the time, it was worth 800. But if I were to get it graded and submitted to PSA, I could have gotten 1,200 at least back. So, yeah, the throw with cards is just it's part of my life now. I'm getting business cards made. I got a custom mat coming in. I just got to focus on buying a new tripod and, just launching this thing. I mean, once you guys see the link in my channel or DVD Freaks channel, like, please follow. What are you doing? Hit the follow button, and, I'm just going to post like random cards for just showcase, whether it's football, wrestling, which I just posted my first card with wrestling today as we're recording this. And it's just been an adventure, and I'm starting to connect with a lot of people within the card community. And yeah, it's just cool. Like even wrestling fans who collect wrestling cards, whether it's AEW, WWE, some old school cards, it's like, yeah, man, it's cool. I mean, I'm sure it's not as interesting to a lot of other people because it's like, oh, wow, like a piece of cardboard. I could stare at this all day. But at the end of the day, it's like it can have more sentimental value depending on how you look at it from your perspective.
Yeah, I have a bunch of actually got a bunch of autograph cards from Ken's. But yeah, I always like to get autograph cards. That's about it though. it's the thrill of the hunt, right? It's the same thing as going to a used DVD shop, being like, oh, what am I going to get?
Yeah.
And when you're opening a fresh pack of cards, you never know what's going to be in there. So,
Well, I'll tell you this: the difference between like DVDs and cards, it's like DVDs, you can either go out and find it, and it's going to look the same. I mean, obviously the DVD is going to look the same, or a Blu-ray, but like cards, it's more of like, yeah, you could go out and buy a box, not know what you get. But also, if you're looking for something in particular from that set, you could literally just go on eBay, go to a card shop, go wherever, and find that card, find a parallel of that card, and just walk away with it, you know? So it could literally be like a hit and miss. Buying like packs or like blaster boxes, hobby boxes, mega boxes, whatever, it's just like, yeah, the thrill of not knowing what you can get. But if, sometimes I feel like a lot of rippers and card collectors get burnt out from that. And they're just like, you know what? I want this guy. I want it from this set, whatever. And, I'm going to buy it. I'm tired of hunting for it. I'm just going to buy it. And depending on who it is, it's like, it could be a couple dollars, a couple $100, depending on how much you're willing to spend. So.
yeah, man. If something that excites you, it's a new passion, so that's cool. I say run with it, man. Film it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a YouTube channel for it?
No. Eventually, I'll probably start doing live streams on the Dan the Beast 94 channel. I mean, everybody knows who I am. So, well, at least all my subscribers know. But, I figure I'll probably just do like a little mix up. It's something I've been debating on for a long time. And I was just always so hesitant to pull the trigger. Like, I'll never forget the day, like, I wanted to start YouTube. I was actually watching one of your videos, laying in bed, just watching YouTube. And I'm looking at my empty shelf and the little amount of wrestling DVDs that I had at that time. And I'm like, And I literally just like sat on my floor and I was just like, hey, my name is this. I'm going to start recording videos and, showing off my wrestling DVD collection. And this was like the height of the pandemic too. This was right before the pandemic hit. And I was like, maybe I should start doing this. And then as soon as the pandemic hit, I feel like I did it at the right time. And yeah, and then I remember the WrestleMania 36 prediction video that I was to, which was unexpected because I was just talking to Nick Kurtz because we had actually met at a wrestling show the year prior, and he mistaked me for you. He was like, "Oh, I thought you were DVD-Freak. You ever heard of him?" And I'm like, "Yeah, probably." And I didn't even know at the time I was subscribed to you. I was just subscribing to any like wrestling DVD vlogger. What I was just like, I think, and I would watch your videos on occasions, but I was just like, I never thought I would do a video with this guy, And then one day Nick just hits me up and he's just like, "Hey, you want to do a WrestleMania prediction video with Tommy and Joey from Wrestling Rampage and DVD-Freak?" And I said, I'm like thinking at the time, like, I just started, right? I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, I just started. You're inviting me to join with a cast of, legends here? Like, I wouldn't really know what to consider it, but it was just like, that was like an all-star roster. And here I am, rookie of the year, whatever, just coming in. All right, Dan, you're off the bench. You're going to be teaming with this guy. And like, what? Already? I just got here.
Hey, man.
Like, I felt like I was going up to guard MJ. I'm just like, no, like, I'm not ready. Like, but
yeah, that was the first. Yeah, that was the first weed match. Was that? I forget whose idea all that was.
I want to say that was Nick's or either Wrestling Rampages, because I think it was on their channel.
Yeah, because Relaxing Ghost was supposed to be a part,
Yeah.
and he had dropped out. And I was like, "Well, we need somebody." And Nick's like, "Oh, I know somebody." I was like, "All right, let's do it. Just have him on." Like, so yeah, there
Yeah,
we are.
that was just like perfect timing. Like that's such a cool like origin story. Like, yeah, Relaxing Ghost was supposed to be here, and here comes the debut and Dan the Beast. Like, like
Yeah,
that's such a cool story. Like thinking back on that, I'm just like, wow. Like I was so happy to be a part of that, and just man, for a shitty WrestleMania, I was just like, I'm just excited to tell people my biased opinions on what's going to happen. Which, oh man, it was cool at that time. And then obviously, as time went on, it's just like I was doing all these unboxing videos, and I would have like 20 packages like lined up. I'm like, all right, I'm saving that for one video. And I think that's really what grabbed people's attention. Like, holy shit, this dude's doing so many like unboxings. It's crazy. Um,
you
I
went all
remember,
in.
yeah, dude. You know what's so crazy now that I'm thinking about it? I used to order a lot of stuff off of High Spots, and this was back when they were actually selling DVDs. And I don't know if you remember, but I have the Hulk Hogan Still Rules DVD sealed with the demo of Forcible Entry.
Yeah,
I can only imagine how much that goes for now with Hogan's passing.
couple hundred,
And I bought it for
maybe like.
$5.
Oh God, yeah, that's fucking. I could see it going for like 100, maybe, but now he's dead, so
Right.
I
Which,
don't know. I never did get to meet the Hulkster.
yeah. Which I guess that can bring up the next topic of discussion here. How did you personally feel about Hogan's passing?
Well, I was. If you remember, like Bubba the Love Sponge, I don't know if you know what was going on with all that.
You know what? I think I know where you're going with this because I had seen like a couple reports that, Bubba the Love Sponge reported that Hulk's on his deathbed and like he's not
Yeah,
doing too well. And, I kind of just like disregarded that because a lot of people were just like, "Oh, it's coming from Love Sponge," don't listen to him, like.
yeah, and then Jimmy Hart said, "Oh no, he's the Hulkster's great. He was at karaoke and all that." So like when it happened, I was not surprised, but like it was an interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of conspiracies and shit going around right now about his death. I know Brooke was saying some stuff, and there's talks of malpractice, foul play. Like I think, dude, how many steroids he did? He put his body through hell. Like I don't know. Like he probably just it said cardiac arrest, I believe. So I mean, it doesn't surprise me. He probably lived. He lived longer than Piper. He lived longer than a lot of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't surprised. Um,
I think a lot of it had to do with like his back issues because I know he had recently had like back surgeries, and you know I think that's probably what led up to what happened, unfortunately. But
yeah, they're talking about like a botched surgery. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's gonna be more that's gonna come out about it.
yeah,
We'll
well,
see.
I will say this. I mean, say what you want about Hulk Hogan, anybody, but you know he may have had like a really bad choice of words that he really should have reconsidered and maybe think before you speak. But his contributions to the wrestling business are forever solidified.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person I can separate. Maybe that's from being a Chris Benoit fan for such a long time, but I
Yeah,
can separate. Um, yeah, Hogan. You know, I don't know if I would have vibed with him as a person, but you cannot take away everything he did. He was a pioneer. If
right.
it wasn't for him, who knows where wrestling would be?
Oh God, dude, let me tell you, if there was no Hulk Hogan, NWO wouldn't be around. That's my favorite faction. I love the original NWO lineup. I I look back at old like Nitro episodes, and I've seen like how they were just recruiting and recruiting and recruiting. It got tiring after a while, but I also loved their potential 2002 comeback, which could have been awesome, great, but
Yeah.
that kind of went over with the fans, because fans were just like, "Oh my God, Hulk Hogan's back!" People were cheering him, so it was so hard for him to be a bad guy. And then Scott with his substance abuse problems, and Nash just breaking a leg out there.
His quads.
Yeah, so that was unfortunate, but I mean, I do have like very distinct memories of like Hogan when I was growing up. I feel like Hogan was like one of those first wrestlers I was introduced to because I was growing up. I wasn't watching like wrestling vividly like right away. I was more introduced to the video games. So a lot of my spare times when I was younger was on WCW NWO Revenge. And if you guys recall the intro to that video game, it's one of the best wrestling intros of all time. And it just comes down to Hogan and Sting facing off until they reveal the title of the game. And, Hogan's like one of the first characters that's, selectable in that game. And then obviously, like, later on, like 2002, 2003, his whole, Hulkamania runs wild fucking tour, whatever I guess you want to call it. But, you know, the match he had with Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 19, I'll never forget that match. Um, in opposed to the match he had with The Rock at WrestleMania 18. And not even that, but like the All Star main event, which was like maybe like a couple weeks prior to Mania, when you had Austin and Rock versus NWO. That was like one of my favorite Raw main events in history.
Yeah, think about that. That was just an episode of Raw. Like, you just get one of the biggest matches possible right there.
Like that should have been like Team WWF versus Team WCW during the Invasion storyline.
Yeah, that would have been good, like Invasion main event right there. But
Right.
that pay-per-view didn't. Yeah, I still like Invasion, but yeah, whatever. I prefer the Survivor Series elimination match. I actually really like Survivor Series 2001. But, yeah,
It's crazy, just now we're thinking of Hogan in the past tense because you just never thought like I mean the time was coming, but it was just like one of those things now where you're saying here like, oh yeah, Hulk Hogan he was, it's like, oh, now we got to talk about him in the past tense. And it sucks because it's like, here we are mourning the deaths of Ozzy Osbourne, and now here we go with Hulk Hogan. I'm just like what?
yeah, wow. Yeah. Ozzy, I took that one pretty hard, but yeah, Ozzy. I don't really get affected by celebrity deaths, but Ozzy, man, yeah. Anyway, Hulk Hogan, yeah, I was always a fan. He's not like one of my top favorite wrestlers, but it's Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Like he is an icon. He might be the most mainstream wrestler of all time. Like in terms of an entertainment basis, like everyone knows who Hulk Hogan is. Everyone. So yeah, there wouldn't be a WrestleMania. There wouldn't, dude. WWF might not even have lasted without Hogan.
No. Hulk Hogan brought the boom period. If it wasn't for him, like we wouldn't have entrance music, Titantrons, let alone personality. I mean, personality existed in the 70s, but I feel like you have to walk it how you talk it. There's that saying. So I feel like with the inclusion of people coming out to music, it changed the landscape. And back in the day, WWF was big on MTV. And this was like around the time MTV started hosting like music videos and all that. So yeah, no, we got to give Hulk his flowers,
For sure. For sure. I'm more amazed Ric Flair has outlasted so many people. Oh my
And
God.
he's one of those guys. Like after Hogan died, I think it was on like TMZ. He was like,
Oh,
I'm
he
afraid
was.
I'm next."
Yeah, he was broken up about that. I saw that, and I didn't watch the Vince interview yet, the TMZ one. I didn't watch that yet. I saw some clips, but yeah. Here's my question. Here's a big question. Does Vince ever return to TV as the character Mr. McMahon? Brock Lesnar, man. I know it's a much different situation, but I don't know. He'll never be in charge again, ever.
No,
But a lot of people are saying John Cena's retirement. Vince comes out at the end, has his moment with him. Do we ever see Vince again?
I mean, I wouldn't see why not. I mean, like JR used to say, anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation. So, I mean, it's a yes and no situation. I mean, that was his company, but due to WWE under new ownership with TKO and everything, it's kind of complex at the moment, and times have changed. I mean, we used to get away with anything back in the day. I mean, Vince got away with the whole steroid trial and everything, but I mean, I would say these are more serious actions that took
Yeah.
place in his life. And I know it was like a couple weeks ago, he got involved in a car accident on the highway here in
Yeah.
Connecticut. And I guess when he got arrested, instead of giving his address, he gave the address of the WWE headquarters.
Interesting. I didn't hear about that.
I
Okay.
heard about. I don't know how true it was, but when I was reading that, I was just like, this dumb son of a bitch. I'm like doing anything to get his foot back into the door. Like that's what I see. But I don't know, and I feel like if Vince were to come back, not as you know creative control or owner or anything, I feel like we would just be reverting backwards in wrestling. Not saying that it's not good to move forward, but I mean the way they present like WWE nowadays, it's like I like it and I don't like it. I don't like all the advertisements on the apron. I just
Dude.
think that just takes away the tradition. And then they
Yeah.
changed the referee T-shirts. I said, "What are you guys doing?" I literally had a D and the Beast moment. I'm like, "What are you doing? Those are ugly. I don't like them. It's just like going to school in uniform. Oh yeah, we gotta change dress code, guys." It's like that's no. Like I'm used to a traditional. When I hear the word referee, it's black and like it's a white shirt with black pinstripes. That's how I think of referees. I don't know about anybody else, but
And
it's
I
and
also
I know I'll have like a lot of heat too. Like, oh well, ECW had that was ECW. They were independent. Like like yeah, they had a big involvement with like having TV deals, but they were different. Well, WCW, yeah, but they ended up changing it to white and black. But still, like all my life watching WWE, it was the white shirts with the black pinstripes. Even though I do have to make an exception for SmackDown, they had some cool referee shirts in the 2000s. I will say that, but I mean, I don't know, just moving
so
forward.
you're saying you don't like the Slim Jim tables?
It's like you're literally
Slim Jim ladder?
a gimmick on a prop is like crazy.
I hate it.
It's I don't know. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're gonna snap into it. All right, we're gonna put you through a table. Like,
I hate it so much. I hate ads.
and literally they got WWE on like everything now. Slim Jims. I went to Walmart yesterday and I see Cody Rhodes on the Minute Maid box.
The Minute Maid Lemonade, Cody Rhodes, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't align with it anymore. I have done videos about it. It's I still watch, but it's just not it's a product. Say what you want about Vince. The ring mat's sacred. You don't put ads on it. Like people have died on that ring. Like, don't fucking put ads on it.
Literally,
Like
yeah. We're not going to talk
they
about it, but yeah.
like you have. It's tradition to wipe your feet before you get in. Now you're wiping your foot on some like Axe deodorant ad, like or fucking Wheatley vodka. If I see one more Wheatley ad, I'm gonna snap. Like, God, everything's
Like,
sponsored by this.
well, I think it was like WrestleMania like 2 years ago where they promoted gin and juice and they had Snoop Dogg on commentary.
Yeah, I was there. I remember I went out for a smoke break, and like I was walking out of the stadium, and I see Snoop Dogg. I'm like, is that fucking Snoop Dogg? Like, what's he doing here? And yeah, that was the match I missed because I just needed a break. But I think I went to get beer and smoke. So yeah, apparently Snoop Dogg was there. Whatever. And that was I will admit I'm glad I went to WrestleMania 40. I'm glad I didn't go to 41. Very glad. And you have to be a millionaire to go anyway. So yeah.
Yeah, their tickets are outrageous, and you could tell like WWE is like money hungry now because now it's like they're literally pulling the WrestleMania 4 and 5 card with
Yeah.
the next year's WrestleMania taking place in Vegas again. It's like you guys literally just advertised New Orleans, and now you guys are just like, oh yeah, change of plans, we're going to Las Vegas again. Like, I don't know how I
Yeah.
feel about that. I feel like that was just a money hungry decision, but
Watch him use the same stage.
yeah,
Watch him use the same stage.
yeah,
Uh,
they're gonna
like
just recycle it.
at least switch it up. Like it'd be cool, maybe put a different stage on the other side of the stadium in front of that big window. That'd be cool. Like at least change something up aesthetically, because that's the most fun part of WrestleMania, especially growing up. One of the most fun parts was like, oh, I wonder what the stage is gonna look like, and let's see what the aesthetic is, and like, yeah, whatever. And then we're probably getting Super WrestleMania in Saudi, so.
I still don't know how I feel about that. Like
The greatest WrestleMania.
they're gonna have like the Great Khali as like a special guest host, and
Oh, I'll watch that.
Jinder Mahal is going to main event, and
Well, and I was reading they want The Rock to headline. So, Rock and Roman in Saudi.
As much as I don't want to, I mean, ugh. I mean, they're going to be in Saudi, and then bad enough, we're going to have to pay. Well, I'm not sure if anybody's going to be paying $30 a month for ESPN, but
yeah, yeah. I remember being very disappointed we didn't get Rock and Roman at 40, mainly because Cody Rhodes is my least favorite wrestler of all time.
Yeah,
I've reached that point. He's officially replaced Goldberg, but yeah. So like, you want to do your biggest, one of your biggest matches, Roman and The Rock in Saudi Arabia. Incredible. Simply fucking incredible.
You know what? Speaking of ESPN that I just brought up, I kind of got a little rant that I want to get off my chest because this has been bothering me since they added this in particular show on Netflix. And you probably know where I'm going with this. So, first of all, you're going to go with switching over from Peacock to ESPN. You want to make it as sports virtual as possible. Like, after the matches, you're going to sit down at your little like tables and take questions and everything. When at the end of the day, you just spoiled the whole, wrestling, like, how would I put it? Like, the formula. Like, you just killed kayfabe. Like, yeah, I understand, like, everything's, like, predetermined nowadays. Everybody knows who's doing what. But you literally everybody got an insight of the business that we have no business watching. We shouldn't have to know all. And watching Unseen or whatever, Unreal, it was like, I'm sitting there watching, it's like, I can't believe they're doing this. I'm like, I don't want to watch this. back in the days, prior to like social media being big, I would literally have to sit there and be like, all right, I wonder what's going to happen today. I'd rather be surprised than read somebody's dirt sheet or somebody's post on like an upcoming event, like, oh, this person's going to be involved in this match tonight, or this is the schedule or the breakdown for tonight's SmackDown. Like, oh man, dude, I don't know. That show literally just killed the business. And I feel like that killed WWE's reputation at that. Just a little bit. Because I guarantee you, like, you wouldn't see TNA do that. Well, probably, now that they're under the WWE umbrella. But I guarantee you, you probably wouldn't even see, like, AEW do that. You wouldn't see independent promotions do that. You know how many people in the independents were, like, anti, like, would probably, or probably now anti WWE just for that? It's like, you literally gave us, like, a whole insight of the business that we have no business being a part of. That's your business, not ours.
Well, I think part of the problem is like people like us, we already knew, but now it's on Netflix. Now the casuals are seeing it.
But you know
Because
what?
like this,
You know what hurts me more? It's like I feel bad for the kids who are just getting into it, 5,
yeah,
6, 7 years old, and now they're going to go to school and be like, I watched Netflix yesterday and I found out wrestling's fake.
yeah.
Literally, like,
Um,
I didn't find out wrestling was fake until the day Benoit died and Vince McMahon showed up on my screen talking about
yeah,
good evening. And I'm
came
like,
back from the
what the
dead.
fuck up? Like, what the fuck just, you know? Honestly,
Yeah,
that was the day I found out like wrestling was scripted, like, but it was like Benoit's memorial picture pops up and I'm just like, and then I hear Vince and see him in the ring and I'm like, did you live? Like, what? And, that's when I found out. I was just like, wow. I was like, okay, it kind of just like clicked. I was like, okay, all right. And God, who knows how far that Vince McMahon angle would have went on for.
I've heard
Sure.
some things.
I had
They
heard
were,
rumors that his brother was actually
yeah,
supposed to get some involvement into it.
and I heard it was supposed to be Linda. I've heard a few things. But yeah, his brother was supposed to be on screen for the first time. That would have been cool. And
Yeah,
like, yeah, they were literally doing his funeral, and then they're like, "Well, can't do that."
yeah. We got a real funeral to promote on Raw here. Mr. Benoit,
Yep.
his family passed away, and it's crazy too because it's like they still went on with it that night, knowing what actually happened. So it was like then you just go on
Yeah.
ECW the next night and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna disregard what happened yesterday and we're gonna pray for the victims.
Yeah, they're
Uh,
like, "My bad,
and
my
everybody
bad."
who was affected. Yeah, my eyes are tearing. Yeah, thanks. But it's
Yeah.
yeah, that was a little cringy looking back at that now, but it was like, ugh. And I remember as like the years went on, I'm like thinking to myself, like, are they ever going to mention this guy's name again? And then as the years like they go on, and go on, and go on, and like people do like these Starcast interviews and Chris Van Fleet interviews. Shout out to CVV. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we don't mention that name anymore. But who knows? I don't know. Just Benoit was he was something else. He was it's kind of hard not to mention Benoit because it's like when you're at a certain age watching wrestling and getting into wrestling, it's like there's those names that pop in your head and it's like you can't forget them. Like, I'll never forget Guerrero. I'll never forget Benoit. I'll never forget, you know, tuning into SmackDown and watching the exclusive cruiserweight division because they had their own division and Raw had puppies that Jerry Lawler was just flawed and like it was but there's just certain wrestlers you don't forget. And yeah, you know, you go up to somebody who's like 20 years old or something, talk about Chris Benoit, they're gonna sit there and be like, "Who the hell is that?"
Well, he got shadow banned.
Like, well, a long time ago, during a period where wrestling was fast paced and exciting, yeah, there was an intense midget by the name of Chris Benoit,
Yeah.
But yeah,
And one Friday, June evening of 2007.
yeah.
But
I remember one Sunday during Vengeance Night of Champions, Justin Roberts was like, and Chris Benoit's replacement, replacement,
yeah.
replacement.
Well, yeah, I remember watching Raw. I didn't know. I didn't have internet growing up. So I found out on Raw because I was like, all right, special start time for Vince's funeral. And yeah, I would have been 11. So I wasn't like too, because I was like, why is Vince here? Like, and then the empty arena, I was like, what's going on? And then, yeah, like shit. I mean, you and I grew up with Chris Benoit. He was one of the best to ever do it, man.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to see like 4 years of Benoit wrestling from 2003 to 2007. But
Yep.
yeah, it was just a weird circumstance, and like Eddie had just died like almost like 2 years before that, and then like
Well, I think if Eddie wouldn't have died, Benoit wouldn't have.
yeah, yeah,
He'd
no,
be. Yeah, it's. Yeah, that was kind of when he died inside.
yeah, it's wow. Wrestling was so different back then, just like watching wrestling now. I think that's why we feel as biased as we are now about the product nowadays, because it's just like it's not what we grew up on. And kids who are watching this now, they're going to feel the same way in like 10, 20 years. Like, oh, that's not what I grew up watching. And that's even if WWE is still going to be around in another 20 years.
I predict Saudi Arabia will one day buy WWE. I think all of this is kind of not my own theory, but one that I can get into. The reason they're selling all this, they're raising the prices, ad revenue, all of this, Netflix deals, ESPN, $30 a month. I think they're building up for a sale in the next few years. The more revenue, the higher the price.
Literally,
Bigger the buck.
literally blood diamond money. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm not saying it's gonna be Saudi, but I do think TKO will sell eventually. I do.
Yeah. Which is why I kind of hold on to my DVDs still. It's like, hold on to these, Dan, because like, I don't know, like something's just telling me to like hold on to my physical content. It's like,
Yeah. And plus, you get all nifty artwork and inserts, and it's DVD menus.
you know what? The best part about that DVDs, all the unedited shit that they have now on Peacock.
Yeah.
Which questions like, why was that edited? Why was that edited? It's like, what? I don't know. It's crazy.
But yeah, we should probably wrap this up. We've been going a while.
Yeah, got another minute. So yeah, this was fun. This was a good catching up video. I think you guys will definitely see another one of these in the future. But
if we can figure out, we're just gonna start screen recording, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely you guys are probably seeing like the icons on the top left of my screen, like, oh, who's messaging you? Oh, you got a YouTube notification. What's the weather like in your city?
Ooh.
What time is it? Well, what time are you on? It's like, relax,
what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? But I am gonna post either me or Freak, depending on whose channel this is gonna go on. But I'm going to post my card IG page in the description down below. So please give that a follow. I mean, I know it's been a long time since you guys have heard or seen me, and if you're looking to connect with me, I would say that's probably your best bet. And I guess I'll end it on this for old time's sakes. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the comment section down below, and subscribe, especially if you're going to be watching me and the DVD Freak. What are you doing? Hit that button. And until next time, whenever that next time is going to be, DVD Freak, Dan the Beast, Danny Boy Sports Card, signing off. Stop!